Hello guys, welcome back to Java for Secondary School. In this video, we'll be working with getting user input using the scanner of course. In other words, you'll be introduced to the scanner object and we'll be working with methods. You'll have a clearer picture of that as we continue with this video. So yes, let's get right into it. So first of all, let's start by completing the correction of the task that I gave you in the previous video. So if you look at the first question, it's asking you what type should you use to represent the average grade for a course. Of course, what data type are you going to use? If you say int, you will be that will be inaccurate. Boolean will be inaccurate. Double will be correct because the average grade could result in a decimal point. So that would obviously be double. All right. Yeah. And what type should you use to represent the number of people in a household? Of course, that would be integer, just because we will be working with a whole number, and that would be integer. What type should you use to hold the first name of a person? Of course, any text would be a string. And what type should you use to record if it's raining or not? Now, if it's raining or not, that's a true or false. Of course, we haven't really worked with Boolean yet, but I think I mentioned it in the first video. So this will be Boolean because we will be checking if a condition will return a true or a false statement. And okay, the last one. What type should you use to represent the amount of money you have? I believe that should be a double, just because it could be dollars and cents, pence and pounds, and all of that. All right, so that is it for the correction. Now, let's look at the word problem that I gave you about Mary. So Mary took a loan from a bank at 25% interest rate per month. If Mary used the loan for 3 months, what would be the total amount paid back to the bank if the loan was $2,000? All right, well, what I want you guys to do is write the program, right? Not really show me your math skill, but let's just go through the math so that we are all on the same page and we sort of have an idea of how to construct our variables or whatnot. So this loan is for 3 months and it's 25% per month for 2,000. So let's calculate the interest in 1 month. The interest in 1 month will be let me select the pen. All right, so the interest in 1 month will be 25. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I think I see. All right. Okay, the interest in 1 month will be 25. All right, so 25% of the capital, and the amount of loan in this case, I believe, is $2,000. So 25% of 2,000. 1, 2, 3. All right, so these two zeros will take out each other, I believe, and that will leave us with, all right, that will leave us with 500. All right, so the interest in 1 month, 25% of 2,000 is $500. That's 1 month. So if she uses the loan for 3 months, $500 multiplied by the number of months, 3 in this case, that will give us 1,500. All right, and the original loan is 2,000. All right, so plus 2,000 the original loan. So the interest and the loan that will be paid back, everything will be equal to 3,500. All right, so I hope you understand how we arrived at this number, just trying to make it as visible as possible. Now let's go back to our program anyway. So of course, what we want to do is we could start out by putting the data type. Don't forget to leave a comment in your code. You just need 2 front slash, and I just want to leave a comment to remind us of the structure of what we're working with, right? So we have the data type, and then the variable name will be next, and then equals, and then we'll set the value, and we end the argument, right? So pretty much 2 front slashes will begin a comment, and if 2 front slashes, we end the comment. So that's telling your program that, hey, when you run all this code, please omit this line because it's not part of the program. It's just a comment, right? That makes sense. Okay, so we will go with 25%. So the original loan, I would say the data type for money, we say should be double. So double original loan, or we could just say loan or whatnot, equals $2,000, right? You cannot put comma, so it needs to be 2,000. Remember to end the argument. So, all right, where is the question again? Right here. So 2,000 and 25% per month interest. So interest, again, for interest, because it's percentage, we'll say double interest equals 25.0 over 100.0. Now, mind you, if I did, okay, actually, let me show you, this would be really cool. So if I say 25 percentage in math, this would be percentage, but it's different in Java. Let me end the argument and let me print out sys out, control space, and let me say I want to print the interest. It's actually not even going to execute at all. Why? And if you check the bug, it's telling me that the data type or whatnot is not accurate. But these, actually, let me make it int so that maybe it runs with int. Is it? No. Anyway, this is not percent in Java, as I said. If I say 25% 2, for example, let's see what happens. Okay, sys out. All right, and let me print these out. Let me put these out in the sys out print. All right, so this return 1.0. So what this means is remainder is the remainder. That's what it is in Java. So pretty much what it does is it's going to look for the number of twos in this case in 25, and you'll get 12 of that, but all that 12 is lost. The only remainder is what is going to return. And because we've made it double, it's putting 1 decimal point. All right, let's try another number, for example. Let's say 30. Now, because that won't have any remainder, it will be 0.0. Now, let's try 31, for example. Obviously, that will be 1.0. So just to put things in perspective, these necessarily, the percentage sign doesn't mean percent in Java. So what we could do is, what's wrong with my spelling today? Interest equals 25% is the same thing as 25.0 all over 100.0, right? So we can write it like that. And if I print that out, oh, don't forget, because I changed interest spelling, it needs to be changed here as well. Interest. All right, so if I execute the program now, you will see it will say 0.25, which is the same thing as 25%, right? So what we've done pretty much, I've created a variable for the original loan, another variable for the interest. Now, where is the question? And then they said the interest is used for 3 months, right? And how much will be paid back. So now let's put the number of months. I will make that integer, and I'll say integer month. That is the number of months, and I'll set that to 3. Now, there are 2 ways of doing this. Is either I perform all the calculations in the sys out, but instead I'll just create a new variable and call that double, and I could say that is payback. That will be payback. And now what I want it to do, let me take us back to the math. Don't forget the way we arrived at the final answer. So we want to find 25% of the loan. That is 25% multiplied by the loan. So that is the interest rate multiplied by the loan. But because the interest is for 3 months, so it needs to be interest rate multiplied by 3, and then multiplied by the loan, and then added to the loan. Okay, that might be a little bit too much, but let's program it out, and then you have a clearer understanding of what's going on. So if I say interest, I will say interest. What is wrong with my spelling today? Interest multiplied by the month. Usually, you could just copy as well, to be honest. INTREST. All right, so interest multiplied by month. So that would be the interest for 3 months. All right, I want that to be calculated first. So I'll put that in brackets. Now I want that to be multiplied by the loan. All right, by the original loan. And I'm just going to copy this and I'll put it here. So pretty much, let me explain again. I will put these in another bracket. Now, let me explain to you what's going on here, guys. Don't be confused at all. So, of course, the first thing that will be done is the interest will be multiplied by the loan. So, 25% will be multiplied by the number of months, which is 3 months. So that will give you 75%. And now we'll find 75% of the original loan, which is 2,000, right? So now that is the total equal, that is the interest. And if I say sys out, command control space, and I say payback, this is not the payback. This is just the cumulative interest, by the way. All right. So I should get about 1,500, which is the cumulative interest. But mind you, what you're paying back at the end of the 3 months is not just the interest, you're also paying back the original loan as well, right? So it will be this, then plus, I'll copy this variable again because I don't want to misspell it, and I'll put it there. All right. And if I execute the program, you see that I will arrive at 3,500, which is the same answer we got here. So pretty much what you've done is that you have created variables to solve this problem. Mary took out a loan from a bank, 25% rate per month, multiplied by 3, that's 75. 75% of 2,000 is 1.5, so that's the cumulative interest. So cumulative interest plus the original loan is the money that you return, which is 3,500. Now, let's make this more fun, guys. Let's move on to using something called the scanner, all right? And that allows you to pretty much be able to get user input, all right? And this is where your program actually becomes a lot more fun. So if you've used MIT App Inventor before, again, I've said it, a class is mostly, a class contains mostly objects, a lot of objects pretty much, and variables or whatnot. In this case, the scanner is an object that allows the user to input a text. Anyway, I won't be going into detail into this because I don't want you to be lost. But instead, I would like you to just memorize this line for now, that whenever you want to get user input, you will use this line for now. And as we continue in this course, you would have a better understanding, and it would occur in a very natural way. Okay, so let's type in scanner. All right, mind you, the first scanner is capital S, then small scanner equals new. All right, and I will say scanner. All right, so scanner equals new scanner, and what I want is system dot input stream. So system dot in. All right, and I will put that there. Now you will see that on the side it's telling me that you can see that red sign by the bulb. If I click on it, it's going to offer me suggestion of what the next step needs to be. And now, because I'm going to use a new object called scanner that will allow user input, I need to import that object to be able to utilize it. So the first option is saying import scanner. So if you click on that, just hit on enter on your keyboard, and you will see that a new line has been added to my code. On line 3, it says import Java utility scanner. All right, so that's saying I've successfully imported the scanner class, the scanner object that would allow user to be able to input data pretty much. All right, so now that I've created that, I would sys out, okay, sys out, just sys, all lowercase, of course, and I would put an empty string of what I want there. I want it to say enter the loan amount in dollars. All right, and so if I run this program, let's just run it line by line so that you sort of understand what's going on. So can you say, so it's saying enter the loan amount in dollar. Now I want to be able to enter stuff. So to do that, I will create a new variable. I will say double loan, all right, equals. Now, the value of this variable, I want it to be the text that was input by the user. So I'm going to copy this scanner object that I just created, and I'll put it there, and I'll say the value of this variable loan that I just created should be scanner dot next Because the data type that we're using in this case is double, right? If it was integer, it would be next integer. But because it's double, it will be next double. I'll select next double and I'll end the argument. So what this means is that after displaying sys out, enter the loan amount, right? The user is going to enter a number, right? A decimal number, preferably, right? And that should be saved under the variable loan, and that's what this line does. Now, I also wanted to confirm that that has been done, so I want another sys out, and I want you to get in the habit of trying this out as well. Sys out, control space. Remember, you could always pause the video and like type out your own code or whatnot. So sys out, control space, and I want it to print the value in this loan variable, but I also wanted to add a string behind it, so I'll put a double quote and say you have entered plus blah blah blah. Then in front I'll put another string and say as your loan amount. All right, and of course this needs a plus as well. So the plus operator is used to join the value. In this case, the value of the variable loan will be added to this string. Okay, so let's run it and test it out. So enter the loan amount. I will enter 2,000. Enter. So it says you have entered 2,000.0 as your loan amount. Of course, I'll put a space here, right? And the reason why it's converted it to .0 is because of the data type that we have used, being double. All right. So so let's move on. So I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. I will create another variable. I will call that int for the month, right? Because we've entered the loan. No, interest rate should be double as well. Interest rate, yes, it should be double. So let's call that double interest rate. All right, double interest rates. Remember, you can't put space between your variable. So I will say double interest rate equals scanner dot next double. So pretty much. But before that, I need a prompt to tell the user to enter the interest rate. So immediately after sys out, you have entered this as your loan amount. I'm going to have another sys out actually. All right, sys out, control space, and I'll tell that to request for the interest rate. Please enter your interest rate. All right. So please enter your interest rate, and I've said the next text to be entered should be considered the interest rate. And now what I want it to do is I want it to actually, that's the interest rate. What I want it to do, because remember when we completed the first challenge, we had to break it down, like interest rate has to be divided by 100. But in this case, we can still do that, but most likely that's you want the program to calculate that for you. So I'm actually going to have another double variable, and I'll call that interest cal. All right. And I would say what I want is I want to set this to the interest rate divided by 100.0. And I'll end that argument. And I want sys out, control space, to say your, of course, I'll put that in string, your interest rate is, all right, and I want to add that, and I want it to display the interest calculation. Oh, sorry. I want it to display the interest calculation. So let's try it again. Sorry, I hope this is not getting boring for you. I hope you're able to pause the video and try it out yourself. I hope you're not lost. But if you have any question, please feel free to send me an email. So let's enter the loan amount, 2,000. You have entered 2,000 as your loan amount. Please enter your interest rate. The interest rate is 25. Now it's saying your interest rate is 0.25. Yes, because 25% is the same thing as 0.25. Does that make sense? So now, what else do we need? We need the number of months. So I will put another sys out, control space, that will prompt the user to enter, please enter the number of months, or number of loan duration, or number of duration of loan or something. So please enter the number of months. I feel like that does it. And now we have another variable, and I'll call that integer because it's going to be a whole number. No, actually, I will use double because it could be 3.5 months or whatnot, which would be 3.5. So double months equals, of course, the scanner object, the next input, the next double, and I'll put it, I'll end the argument. So now let's see. So if it says enter the loan, and we'll put 2,000. It says you have entered 2,000 as your loan amount. Please enter your interest rate, 25%. 25% is the same thing as 0.25. Now it's telling you to enter the number of months. If you say 3, and now it's not going to perform anything because we haven't programmed it to perform anything. So now when you put 3, what I actually want is I want it to perform. I will create a new variable just because, again, this unit, I want you to get used to working with variables and different data types. So I'll say double payback, that is the amount to be paid back. Total payback will be equal. Of course, you want the interest call, that is what the interest rate is. Don't forget, the interest call is the interest rate because that has converted it, that has done the arithmetic of like converting it to percentage for us, because Java naturally doesn't have a symbol to do that. All right, so I want it to be the interest call multiplied by the number of months, of course, because multiplied by the number of months. Okay, and I will put that right in a bracket because I want it to be solved first, and multiply by the loan, because the interest rate multiplied by the month, 60% of 75% of what? Of the loan, right? And I'll put the loan. Again, I will add another bracket to say that I want this to be solved first, and I need to put another one. Don't forget, for each bracket, there needs to be a closing. So now the program will solve these first, and then move on to solve the outer one, right? And then plus the loan amount, because you're not just returning the interest, you're also returning the loan that you got. And I will end the argument. And if I say sysout, comment space, and I put payback, and I put payback, that is this variable payback, and I could actually put a string behind it to say your total payback amount is, and then the payback, of course, the plus operator, don't forget that as well. And if I run the program, let's see. So loan amount 2,000. You have entered 2,000 as your loan amount. Please enter your interest rate. Interest rate is 25%. You have please enter the number of months. The number of months is 3 months. Your total payback amount is 3.5. So pretty much we've written a program that calculates that for us. Now, the advantage of getting user input is that I kept telling you the value of a variable can change, and that makes it more realistic because your program is more robust in that way. For example, it could be 300 loan. It doesn't have to be 2,000 every time. And let's say the interest rate could be slightly different this time around. And let's say it's only for 1 month, and then you only have to pay 315 back, right? So it makes your program more robust in some ways. Anyway, I hope you enjoy watching these. Thank you for your time. I will be leaving you a link of what to practice next, but specifically, I want you to make sure that you also using CS Awesome. I will be leaving you a link in the description on YouTube for the task to practice next. But please make sure you use, of course, the user input, the scanner, and try to complete this challenge. A bank gives out a loan of 1,000. After 5 months, the bank customer will be required to pay back a loan with a 25% interest. How much will he pay back in 5 months? All right. So please try to complete this challenge using the scanner, the my object scanner. That is the line I told you to memorize. Scanner equals new scanner system.in. Good luck, guys, and thank you for your time.